Hello everyone, welcome to another video. In this video, I will talk about traces in observability. This is my third video where I'm trying to cover traces, which is the third pillar of observability. I have already done two videos in the same series where I spoke about metrics and logs, so you can go watch those videos as well. Alright, so in this video, I will only focus on traces. So if someone asks you, what is a trace? So a trace represents the complete journey of a single request from the beginning to the end. I'll give you one example to understand it in the best possible way. Suppose there's a user who's trying to place an order on an e-commerce website. When the user places the order, when he clicks on submit, for example, in that case, that particular request is going to go through certain hops. Imagine that this is the entire flow that the user's request is going to the API gateway, from there to the order service, from there to the payment service, from there to the database. And you can say that these are the different microservices that are involved here. Okay, so a trace is going to allow us to follow that single request from the user to the database across all these components, as I mentioned, and understand what happened at each step. So you can say a trace is a way by which you are able to use to trace the entire request workflow from start to finish of any request that the user does. In this case, it was just to place an order on an e-commerce website. So this entire flow, it can be traced, like what happened at each step. If you want to trace that out, you can use a trace. Okay. Now there's another important term called span. A span represents one individual operation performed as part of a trace. For example, from here to here, from the user's request to the API gateway. So this is called one span. Then from API gateway to the order service, this is second span, and then third span, and then fourth span. So from one hop to the other, the request flow, it is called a span. Okay. So a span represents one individual operation performed as part of a trace. So trace is going to be create order. Spans are going to be operation, API request, and it took around 120 milliseconds as an example. Then similarly for order service, it took like 80 milliseconds, and so on for other spans as well. So how would you explain it? The complete request is called the trace, but each individual operation inside that request, it is called a span. So you should know the difference between the two, which I just spoke about. Okay, so it's the same thing written one more time so that you can review it, revise it if you have any confusions. Then another important thing is, why do we need these traces? So modern applications are usually made up of many services. We already know a single user request can travel through these different services before a response is actually returned. Okay, so in this example, we were using the e-commerce order placing example where the user tried to place the order on an e-commerce website. It went through these three levels before it reached its final destination, which is the database here. So suppose the user is trying to report that the application is taking too long. Okay, so in this example, the application is taking 3 seconds to respond. So there is some latency that is happening in this request flow. So if you want to trace that, you can use traces. So without trace, a metric may tell us that the request took 3 seconds, but it may not immediately tell us which service out of these in the request flow is faulty or is not working the way it should. So this is where we use traces. So traces is able to identify the different hops which are there in between while completing any request workflow, and it can give you the exact time response also of that particular hop. For example, from user to API gateway, it took like 100 seconds. From API gateway to order service, 200 seconds, and so on till database. So here we clearly know that this is where the issue is, because this payment service is taking 2500 milliseconds. So trace is going to completely show you that this payment service is consuming most of the request time. Okay, because the total request time is 3000 millisecond, but out of which 2500 millisecond is being consumed at payment service level only. Okay, so this is the main use case of a trace where you can see the different latencies in the different services that are involved in a particular request flow, and you can identify the faulty one and then try to fix only that one without spending too much time on other things. Okay, so when we deploy any solution for traces, you will always get a trace ID. Okay, so a trace ID is used to connect all the different spans belonging to the same request. Okay, as an example, this is the trace ID span 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is going to be your trace ID and these are going to be your spans. Now, there are multiple solutions out there in the market to install and configure a traces solution, a distributed traces solution. But in this video, I will talk about something called as Tempo. So what is Grafana Tempo? It is a solution that is used for distributed tracing. It's a backend designed to store and query your traces data. Okay. So simple flow, if you want to get started with Tempo, you can install an application and then you're going to install an OpenTelemetry collector, which is going to be your main collector of your traces data from the application. And then it's going to be put into your Tempo data source. And then you can use this data source. You can plug this data source into your Grafana to visualize the data and then see the traces and the spans. Okay. Uh, Grafana I have already spoken about in the last two videos, so I don't want to repeat it, but this is our main visualization tool where we can see the data, where we can visualize the data. If we want, we can create our dashboards and alerts also. So now if I want to talk about the difference between traces, metrics, and logs. So metrics is going to answer a question like what is happening. For example, HTTP latency is 3 seconds. Logs are going to show you what happened. So payment service returned an error. Then traces is going to answer this question, which is where did the request spend its time? Example, your payment service consumed 2.5 seconds. So this is the relation between the three pillars of observability, and we need each of these so that we are able to effectively troubleshoot a particular issue. Okay, so from interview standpoints, you can just say tracing helps us understand the complete journey of a request through a distributed application. A trace represents the complete request, while individual operations within that request are represented as spans. Each span contains information such as its operation time, duration, status, additional attributes. In a typical open telemetry based setup, the application generates traces and sends them using OTLP to an open telemetry collector. The collector can process and forward the traces to a backend such as Grafana Tempo. Then Grafana can be used to connect to Tempo, and it allows engineers or SREs to search and visualize the complete request flow. This helps us identify latency, failures, and the specific service or operation causing a problem. Okay, so this is about the fundamentals of tracing in observability. I hope this video was useful to you.
And before I go, I would like to talk about my YouTube membership program where I have a lot of premium videos available. As you can see right now, I'm talking about a production Docker file. So this is a sample Docker file from a production environment, which I'm covering here, and I'm explaining each and every instruction that is there in this Docker file. Apart from that, I also have videos on some of the most important site reliability engineering terms that are often asked in the interview. How do you explain that? I have video on SRE golden signals, which is very critical when you're actually working and you're configuring some dashboards for a particular application. So you would need SRE golden signals. And then I have a hands-on project on SLI, SLO, SLA. So I start with the theory, like how do you explain these terms and how do you explain an end-to-end project that you've done on SLI, SLO, SLA. So that I've covered here. Here you can see I'm using a Java Spring Boot application, which is being monitored using Prometheus and Grafana tools. And the application is deployed into AWS EKS clusters. Apart from that, I also have video on distributed tracing with Grafana Tempo, and I also have one video on how do you use OpenTelemetry for metrics collection for a Java Spring Boot application in Prometheus and Grafana. So it's again, all these videos are hands-on, which means that I'm going to share the document, the end-to-end document that I'm following here, and how do you configure all these things in real. So all that I'm trying to cover here. Apart from that, I also have video on logs aggregation using Grafana Loki tool for Java Spring Boot application. So how do you aggregate logs from multiple applications into Grafana Loki? So that I am covering here. Then in production, we don't use the standard Prometheus to collect our data. We use an enterprise solution which is called Mimir. So the difference between Prometheus and Mimir I've covered in this video. I also have a shell scripting crash course with production scenarios where I'm going to talk about the type of question that are asked in the interview. Apart from that, all the fundamentals of shell scripting that you should learn for the interview. Then I have other videos as well. As I mentioned, I have multiple videos on Prometheus and Grafana based Java Spring Boot application monitoring in production, how it is done. So these are the videos. Apart from that, I also have Terraform, I have Kubernetes, and I have AWS, Linux, and you can see some of the videos in my YouTube membership program are actually recordings from my real live batches that I've run for SI trainings. A lot of people have got the job as well. So I have these recordings as it is, and in each of these videos, I'm talking about how it's going to look like when you're actually working in real as an SRE. So I'm talking about all that. Yeah. So these are the things that I have on my channel. So you can take a look at it. If you find it useful, you can go for the membership as well. It's going to immensely help you in your interviews. All right, so that's all I wanted to cover in this video. I hope this video was useful to you. If it was, please hit the like button. Please share this with others. Please do subscribe to my channel and keep watching my channel. All right, guys, that's all for this one, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Bye for now.